Wow, guys. Freaking wow. Last night, the Toronto Raptors played the Philadelphia 76ers on home turf in a decisive Game 7 to have the privilege of facing Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals. And this game, guys, holy crap, was it something special. Prior to this game, every team, like every game had been won by the team who either one led after the first half, or two won in the second quarter. In this particular game, Toronto actually they were leading at the end of the half, but they had lost, I think, the second quarter, be at 1 point. So one of the two things had to give essentially, and god damn, this game I think we had no business winning. The Toronto Raptors had no business winning this game. And what I mean by this is, if you look all around, every reliable piece for Toronto started to unwind and fall apart for the first 3 quarters of the entire game. You had the first quarter. It's a low-scoring affair for both teams. This is the playoffs, so people are going to shoot like shit. Toronto was 5 for 24, but they managed to play a stellar defense to remain in the lead. And they're starting to actually lead in rebounds. Now, before this series started, rebounds were going to be the key to the Raptors succeeding. And tonight, they did just that. They actually out-rebounded the 76ers, which is quite impressive in my opinion. Now, Lowry gets a thumb injury in the second quarter. He gets that taped up, and he's back in the game. Gasol, goddamn, still passing the ball like a hot potato. Nick Nurse isn't really calling strategic timeouts. He's kind of calling them late or a little bit too early or at inopportune times, and this was not a good performance by Nick Nurse. And also Danny Green, who seems to have disappeared this entire series. I know he had a good game in Game 5, but he's just disappeared. I don't know where he's at. His shot's gone. His defense is it's okay, but he's just not, I don't know what's happened. He needs to rebound. He just hasn't been too good this series. Pascal even disappeared tonight, guys. Siakam, only 9 points tonight. Or 11 points yesterday night. And somehow, the Toronto Raptors, under the heroics of Kawhi Leonard, who shot 39 shots, made 16 of them, shooting 41%, 41 points, get the W. You look at the box score, guys. Philly had starters in double digits. Usually, that's the ticket or the key to success. But in this game, Kawhi said no. He said no. And he got a little bit of help. Well, I should say a lot of help from Serge Ibaka, guys. And my God, out of all people to save Toronto's season, along with Kawhi, it was Ibaka. It wasn't Danny Green. It wasn't Siakam. It was Lowry to a certain extent. But in terms of scoring load and rebounding, the X factor tonight was Serge Ibaka. Let that sink in. Mr. Butterfingers from last year, tilted by Embiid early in the series, manages to bounce back and answer the call and the need for offense. Man was hitting three-pointers like Steph Curry for a while. He came to play, and due to his heroics, the Raptors won by 2 points, even though they out-rebounded Philadelphia on the offensive glass by at least 11. So yeah, this game was definitely special. The Scotiabank Arena, Jurassic Park, unanimously erupted in a loud applause and cheer. What a game. But back to the third quarter, I switched away from Matt and Leo's TSN's broadcast to TNT because I couldn't actually stand and this is the one time in this series that the broadcasting from TSN was just, what are you doing? They're still talking about the Orlando Magic, for Christ's sake. This is Game 7. Okay, please talk about something else other than the Orlando Magic. All right. So I switched over and I endured the TNT broadcast. It was actually pretty good tonight. Pretty good, pretty knowledgeable. I don't know how the rest of TSN's broadcast were, but that's not the point. I was really frustrated in the third quarter, guys. Really frustrated because Kawhi is obviously fatigued at this point. This series has drained Kawhi. Look at Game 4. Games 1 to 4, the man was getting buckets, no problem, at super high efficiency. After game 4, he's finally been slowed down, guys. And nobody on the Toronto Raptors squad was stepping up at this point. I honestly thought this was going to be a repeat of game 6, but much more delayed. Because in game 6, what did the Sixers do? They loaded up on Kawhi, dared the rest of the Raptors to beat them, and they didn't, which, was disappointing because in game 5, the Raptors were actually able to exploit that same strategy by Brett Brown. So I was actually very, very, very worried that the Raptors were just going to stall on offense and Philadelphia was eventually going to get some quick cuts or, quick baskets under the rim. Now we go into the fourth quarter. Actually, before that, towards the end, and this is the one move I'll applaud Nick Nurse on tonight, subbing off Danny Green. Finally, he goes big with Ibaka. Like, the answer to the problem of rebounding has been in front of the Toronto Raptors for the entire year prior to the Gasol trade. If you want rebounding, you stick Ibaka on the damn court. Ibaka plays well with the starters, is going to hustle, is going to be energetic, and he's going to get those rebounds. He was out-rebounding Joel Embiid. Wow! But yeah, Green is subbed off, and I think this is where the game started to turn. Because in the fourth quarter, you saw Ibaka light it up. From 3, get the key defensive rebounds. Kyle was also really good on the defensive end. He made a lot of key decisions that you don't see in the box score. As usual, I'm not going to repeat the same thing as always. Kawhi finally activates in the fourth quarter as well. I think he shot a better percentage in the fourth than at, I think he was, what was he? He was 6 for 15, or no, he had 15 points in the fourth quarter, and Raptors pull out the win. Overall, this series has been incredibly frustrating. I thought this was going to be over in 6. In fact, it should have been, but, I'll take the W. I'm pretty sure. Raptors, I do need to rest up. They need to find their shot, because if they do not find their shot, especially wide open shots, Milwaukee is going to pound them into the fucking dirt. Like, they will not stand a single chance. Because if anything, Milwaukee's defense is also pack the paint, lead the three-point shooters open, because they're going to trust their shooters to outscore them. And, it's worked for them this entire season so far. And they have the number 1 rated defense. But all things aside, this will be an interesting series to come. I think that Philadelphia was a good test for Toronto. I mean, if Kawhi doesn't make that shot, that goes to overtime. Who knows who wins, right? But was it lucky? In a way, yes, he did get that lucky bounce. But I'm just glad, the shot went in, and now the Raptors finally have some time to rest and recuperate. I don't expect them to win game 1, though. I think they get knocked off, unless they find their shooting somehow. But yeah, guys, wow. I'm looking at, I've rewatched that final shot by Kawhi multiple times, and it's a thing of beauty.